Welcome to the New Leaf podcast, and on today's episode I'm joined by an incredible lady, Sarah Drakard, been with New Leaf for 13 years. Now on today's episode, she's going to be talking about being a mum in finance.
This industry is a blessing and a curse for doing this. So on one hand, I wouldn't have had the time that I've had with my kids. I wouldn't have been able to flexibly work and juggle both.
Sure.
The hard part is I don't think this industry is particularly set up for women. Things like having to keep up with your CPD and keep up just with changes. There's so many, especially recently, all the changes that have happened in the time that I've been having babies.
She shares an incredible story where a client of hers claimed on protection, and she's going to talk about the importance of that with clients.
The consultant made some reference to it being like lightning striking twice if she ever got cancer again. And then 10 years later she did. She got the same mouth cancer back in COVID, unfortunately. That delayed a lot of things. They didn't diagnose it for quite a long time because they thought it was just scar tissue. And unfortunately she did pass away. So she got a second payout, got her family really secure, and she did sadly pass away. She was like my really good friend at the time that she died.
And finally, she talked about will writing and how that's been a massive value add to her business, but also has helped her grow her business through marketing and going viral on social media.
So I put a post in some mums groups just saying, look, this is what happened today. Please write your wills. Please don't leave it until the last minute.
It wasn't even a sales pitch,
No,
really.
just telling them, like, even if you don't do it with me, do it with someone.
Yeah.
And I got about 300 inquiries.
So join us today for this episode. It's going to be awesome. Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the New Leaf podcast. Great to have you with us. How are you today?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
I'm very good. Yeah, I'm really excited to speak to you because you've been one of our members now for
13 years.
13 years. Wow, it's amazing. Basically, as long as I've worked with the business, more or less. So we've known each other from the start of your career in this industry, because you started more or less with New Leaf, didn't you?
Completely brand new. Yeah.
And you went straight into being a business owner from day one.
Yeah. Unqualified to self-employed overnight.
And your business now is called Cruise Financial Services.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what do you do in your business?
At the moment, mortgages, protection, will writing, equity release, commercial. I'm qualified to do the IFA stuff. I have done the IFA stuff previously because I'm having babies and toddlers at the moment. I've paused the pensions and investments.
Sure.
But yeah, every other product area.
And when you got started, I mean, obviously that's a big career decision to make at a young age, you know, when you started.
Yeah, 26.
26, when you started out. Obviously, that's a big deal to do this. What made you decide to get into mortgages and protection and wills?
It was a happy accident, but I definitely think that everything in my life led to it. So I left school unqualified. I didn't even finish my GCSEs. I had a really strong family background in property, so all of my elder male relatives had HMOs and large property portfolios. So I'd grown up just collecting rent. My dad used to collect the little 10p's from the gas meters and stuff, and I'd empty them out when I was a toddler. So I really understood property, but I didn't know that that's what I really knew. It was all around me. Yeah. And I'd watched my dad build large property portfolios through my childhood and really change his wealth. And that had a huge impact on how I viewed building finance and just being able to access property. And then I'd also gone through a really messy separation really young. My dad kind of pushed me to buy property really, really early. Yeah. And I stupidly did that with a partner. I was far too young, weren't married. And then when it broke down, as it inevitably would, it was really messy. So I'd also experienced that at quite a young part of my life, and separating finances and how complicated that can be. And then I ended up working in an admin job in a mortgage company, pre-credit crunch, pre-regulation, saw people making absolutely exorbitant amounts of money a month with not doing much work, just overselling everyone. And they said, oh, we can get you a 9 times income mortgage. I'd experienced all of that. All of these things kind of was pushing me towards financial services and wanting to do it the right way, and in an ethical way. And I met my first business partner in that mortgage company. I was a PA, she was a regional sales manager. And we always kind of connected and wanted to do things right. Always sort of felt bad for some of the clients that we saw really being loaded with these really huge mortgages that they couldn't afford. And then the credit crunch happened. And that all kind of happened. All those different aspects of my life happened at the same time. Mm-hmm. I was left in a recession working in a mortgage company that basically was about to die. With no idea what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. worked in a few more jobs, but stayed in contact with that lady. And then we just started chatting one day about what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And she said, you'd be an excellent mortgage broker. And I was like, actually, I think I would really like that. And it kind of resonated with everything else that I'd been through and experienced. I was still stuck on the mortgage that was 9 times my income that I couldn't afford. And that's when I met you guys and literally did my CMAPs. I think started off doing a bit of mortgages and protection and wills whilst I was doing them. Qualified, started mortgages straight away, and the rest was history. It was just kind of natural because it was what I did.
You've been so successful.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's not normal, to be honest, for someone at the age where you were when you started to actually still be here now.
Yeah.
We see a lot of people failing in this industry who start a business.
Yeah.
To do that jump from being employed and working to then deciding I'm going to set my own business up. Yeah. Obviously great you use New Leaf and we're known for helping people start businesses and all that sort of thing. But obviously it comes down to the character of the person.
Thank you.
And you clearly have that in you. And you mentioned at the beginning, you've done a bit of everything really, haven't you? Over the years, you've been an IFA, you're a will writer now as well. You're doing that for a long time. You do protection, do mortgages. You really do everything. And that must be tough. And you're mum in business as well.
Yeah.
And that must be hard.
Spit on my top to show it, yeah.
That's real life. This is it. This is the real life of a business owner in your position. I mean, how have you found that transition in particular? Because
becoming a mum whilst having a business.
Yeah, and especially in financial services in the context.
Yeah. I think this industry is a blessing and a curse for doing this. So on one hand, I wouldn't have had the time that I've had with my kids. I wouldn't have been able to flexibly work and juggle both.
Sure.
In other industries. But then the hard part is I don't think this industry is particularly set up for women. Things like having to keep up with your CPD and keep up just with changes. There's so many, especially recently, all the changes that have happened in the time that I've been having babies. You come back after having a baby for a month and compliance is completely different. Or, there's a lot of things that have happened in the times where I've had the babies. And then also being a woman, you build up this momentum in business, don't you? So I've worked so hard and my business has been my baby from day one. And now I've got other babies, but I don't want to lose what I've built for months and months and years. So you kind of have to keep going. And there's no way to sort of clients build by you, so I can't get somebody to temporarily help, or I'd lose some of that momentum if I did.
Because you've done it solo the whole time.
Yeah, solo the whole time. If I had maybe a bigger business behind me, maybe it would have been easier, but it's manageable. And then the flip side of it is I've been at home with my toddler for 2 years. I didn't have to put him into childcare after a year, which my employed friends had to do.
Sure.
I can take him to school every day. I can be at the school plays. So there's pros and cons. I think this business is great for mums, but maybe not in the actual maternity period.
And that is a fair comment, because obviously you don't have maternity pay.
And you still got to pay fees, you still got things going on that you have to keep up with, and CPD, like I said, and just keeping up to date.
Well, you're still here now.
I managed it, so if I can do it, anyone can.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I mean, if you were going back to talk to your younger self when you started, and this is really for anyone who's just getting started now, what tips would you have given yourself at the time?
I think it's doable. I think to start as a mortgage broker with absolutely zero experience is in self-employed with nobody to help you is hard.
Yeah.
So if you're in an office, you learn, and I think the same with the IFA staff, you learn from the older brokers, the older advisors, they'll teach you the ways. So I would probably start maybe really working with somebody that knew what they were doing from day one, learn the industry, and then maybe spread my wings and set up by myself. And you can still do that self-employed, but just maybe under a really experienced IFA that can show you the ropes and is going to help you with all the cases and stuff. Because mortgages, I had that a bit, but IFA I didn't, and that was really hard. Obviously, you've got the network, there's people to ask, but it's different to working in an office next to somebody that's doing it day in, day out. So that learning process would have been a lot quicker. And an old CAO did tell me that once. He said, don't learn a new skill on your own time. You should use someone else's time, maybe employed.
Mentor.
Yeah, and then go self-employed. So that's probably what I'd tell myself at 26.
So right now, what clients do you love to work with?
Oh, there's so many. I love all my clients and I love different product areas. I love equity release. I love working with people and because I know I'm going to do it really well and really ethically.
Yeah.
I love doing like a good family protection case where they're building wealth. They're just new and they don't know anything. And they're really starting to like think about their long-term financial planning and their family security. I love a good technical mortgage as well. There's so many product areas I love. I actually love everything that we do.
And you mentioned the insurance protection, the foundation of financial advice, for anybody that you're advising. But it's something that is probably under advised across the whole industry. And I know you've had some interesting case studies where you've really helped people on the protection side.
Yeah.
So let's know more about that.
So I met a lady through networking right at the beginning of my journey, and she'd survived mouth cancer, age 30, never smoked, really healthy. She was actually a health coach.
Okay.
So really believed in like trying to be as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
And she'd had a payout when she'd had the mouth cancer, and she told me she'd never get insurance again. But she really believed in it. So I said, no, I think you can.
So was that, did you organise the initial?
No, I didn't do the initial, but I did the second.
You already had it?
Yeah. And then looked into it, did pre-underwriting, got a lot of no's, really pushed it. Got some really good information from her consultant about the type of cancer and where it was, and it was totally removed and all of that stuff. And actually got her standard terms, no ratings, life and kick again.
With kick as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the consultant made some reference to it being like lightning striking twice if she ever got cancer again. And then 10 years later she did. She got the same mouth cancer back in COVID, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That delayed a lot of things. They didn't diagnose it for quite a long time because they thought it was just scar tissue. And unfortunately she did pass away. So she got a second payout, got her family really secure, and she did sadly pass away. She was like my really good friend at the time that she died. I also did her wills and LPAs and everything as well. But to know that her family were covered and that she didn't think it was ever possible was some really good work, and that's one I'm really proud of because they're really secure now.
That's an incredible story because I think, ultimately most advisors will probably immediately think, oh, sorry, you can't have cover.
Yeah.
They'll make that assumption.
Yeah.
Obviously, in this instance, you've really worked hard to find somewhere. I mean, do you mind me asking, do you remember what provider it was?
L&G.
At Legal & General, excellent.
Yeah,
okay.
and they didn't mess around really on the payout either.
Yeah.
They did query it a little bit, but because I'd done all the pre-underwriting, I'd given them all that evidence up front when we submitted it actually went through pretty smoothly, and I helped the client's partner with that.
Yeah, so the money was really useful.
Yeah.
I take it for the family.
Yeah,
Was
you
it
took
mortgage
like quite
or...
a long time off work. Yeah, mortgage free.
Yeah.
Enough money to kind of relax afterwards because he was obviously really devastated. So it made a big difference.
Yeah. And that's just an amazing story from a perspective of an advisor making a real difference.
Yeah.
You must have felt, obviously it's sad that your client
Very sad
died,
that she died, but proud of myself for making sure that end of life financial planning was all there, even though they never thought it would happen. Will was there, really strong, lasting powers of attorney in place so that he could help her right at the end. And even though it wasn't a very long period at the end where it was really intense, having those things there just automatically makes it a lot easier.
So will writing as well, mentioning you do the wills. Again, it's another product area that maybe some advisors don't realise they can actually access. It's obviously a great, for what we see, it's a great...
I don't know how advisors do it without it. I really don't. It's like the cornerstone of my business.
Okay, brilliant. Well, yeah, we see it as not just very helpful to clients to have their wills written, but also it's a great referral gatherer. It's great for building your network out in a quick and easy way.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the reasons? Yeah, what obviously you're saying it's a cornerstone business, but what are the reasons for you doing it?
I love it anyway because you're doing something really good for a family. They really need it. And honestly, the vast majority of people don't. I know the stats are like somewhere between 50 and 60, but the average financial planning client doesn't have a will.
No.
And when you meet them, that's when they're starting to think about all these things. And it's usually at the end after they've done their financial planning. So you can add value. It's great added value, and I love it just for that. But in terms of gaining customers' trust, lead generation, getting really into everything that they have and them trusting you as somebody that can deal with all of that, it's a no-brainer. And you get to know all of their family members, everybody around them. You're telling the client to have conversations with those people about maybe making them an executor or a guardian. You can contact them with permission. So
you're just
about getting all these people that already know you and trust you.
I mean, about the debt situation,
Debts,
mortgage, policies they have.
Policies, everything, pensions.
It's the same as doing a normal fact find,
Literally,
isn't it?
it's a holistic fact find. I do my will appointment as a holistic fact find, basically.
That's a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
So that's almost like the way in.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you can build out the rest of your offering then from there.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And have you got any examples where you've really made a difference on the wills? Advice?
So recently somebody contacted me. It was a friend of a friend. She was 40, healthy a few months ago, had some stomach pains, went to hospital and never came out, basically. She had really aggressive liver cancer, I think it was, stage 4.
Wow.
2 young children, no will, no planning whatsoever. She did have a small amount of life insurance that she'd got just before earlier in the year, so I think they are claiming on that. I went to the bedside, did the will. New Leaf Compliance were amazing. They turned it around for me the same night.
Wow, that's good.
And then took it back the next day for her to sign. And she did die about a week later, so it's really sad. But just knowing, again, that she'd had that done, it dropped everything to deal with it. It's a nice feeling. Her children are okay. And then also, I didn't charge her because when I was just there at the hospital, I just couldn't. It just seemed so unfair for her she didn't have a lot of money to have to pay that, going through I can't even imagine. I've got young kids myself, so I just said, don't worry about it.
Wow.
But it's like she sent me some gifts back because I posted about it and the post went viral.
Okay, so what do you post about the service you offered?
Yeah, that I'd experienced that day. I was really upset. I was at home with my kids in bed just thinking like how awful it was.
Yeah.
So I put a post in some mums groups just saying, look, this is what happened today. Please write your wills. Please don't leave it until the last minute.
It wasn't even a sales pitch.
No,
really.
Just telling them like, even if you don't do it with me, do it with someone.
Yeah.
And I got about 300 inquiries.
Wow.
I didn't intend for it to happen. But yeah, I think they could sort of feel the emotion in the post because it was genuine.
Yeah, that's amazing. So 300 inquiries is a lot to get, isn't it? Off the back of one post. I mean, it does show that the
people need it.
Well, and also it shows in terms of, I mean, we talk about marketing generally, people always put things out trying to gather attention for their business, but real life stories, showing integrity, being just a real person is what makes a huge difference, 100%, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
that's what this industry is about, really.
I think your personal brand is massive. Obviously you've got your business name and you've had a number of different business names anyway over the years, haven't you? But,
I've realised the clients don't care.
Ultimately it doesn't matter. New leaf, old leaf, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They buy into you, right? And that's what it's about, isn't it? And if you can show that and show your worth in a very short post, wow, and 300 inquiries, you can't really go wrong there.
It's crazy, really crazy.
So obviously, you mentioned we've helped you with the will writing side. We have a separate business called New Leaf Will Writers Federation. How did you find that training and that development on that side of business then?
I wouldn't be here without New Leaf. I'm not just saying that because I'm here in front of you. I don't think there's another network like it. Without having, especially being a solo business person, if I had, again, like a big team, maybe a smaller network that just do compliance would be different. But in my situation, it's like having my office, my extended office that's there if I do need help or I need some backup or something. And especially through this time, having babies and stuff, wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Training, you did my protection training.
I remember actually.
And
long time ago now.
Alan Edwards doing the will training. I was, so glad that I'm from his era. And just
he's still going strong.
So the foundation of everything I am as an advisor is New Leaf. I don't know any other way, and I cannot envision a place where I'd go anywhere else.
Well, thank you for being with us all this time. It's unbelievable. We love your having your business with us, obviously. You said 13 years you've been doing this now. You must have seen a bit of change over those years. I mean, what's the biggest change, maybe operationally or it could be technological, that's impacted your business?
I was thinking about this question. I think just everything becoming a bit more automated, so stuff like Underwrite Me has made protection a lot better to sell for me, and everything's automated in our fact finding system and stuff as well. So I sell a lot more protection doing upfront underwriting.
So for those who don't know, what does Underwrite Me do?
So you put in the client's medical stuff up front, and then you get straight up answers about who will offer terms, standard terms. So I used to get quite lost with protection before that, when we used to do it the old school way, source, do a bit of pre-underwriting. Then you end up getting a surprise rating or something.
Yeah.
And then it completely threw out the sale for me. I'm not not a typical salesperson, so I don't really sell. But for me, seeing standard rate, this is the cheapest one, this is the one that will give you standard terms day one, all the rest will want medical tests and stuff. So it just makes it easy.
Yeah.
There's no surprises. And most of my protection goes straight on, unless it's really complex, whoever's going to do the least tests and stuff, unless the client's happy to do that. They generally don't want to. And the cheapest rates, and it's easy. It's
great. You're leveraging technologies available, and Underwrite Me definitely has made a difference to our network. I think we can see the increase.
It's taken me from like doing a little bit of protection here and there to a big part of my business.
It just quickens that process, and that's probably in my opinion, it'd be one of the reasons maybe why advisors get a bit turned off from doing protection, because the underwriting process can be a bit long.
It's just a hard sell if you say, oh, look, this is what you can get for this much. Oh, because you're overweight, actually, sorry, it's this. And then that really is a negative experience for a client.
Yeah,
whereas
exactly.
if you cut all of that out,
yeah,
it's just easy. It's just what it is.
And then that person might miss out on buying it, and obviously leads to those suboptimal outcomes that you mentioned to me off camera as well. People who didn't want it. Yeah. I think you mentioned earlier to me
25-year-old with breast cancer. So a first time buyer went all out to buy their first property, really stretched, and then they were just not interested in protection at all. So I think they actually made a joke about living forever or something like that. And then sadly she did get breast cancer. They rang me back a year later and said, look, I don't think it was a year, I think it was like 6 months or something. Wow. And said, can we still get that life insurance? And then they explained what was going on, and she just found whatever was the lump or whatever. I was like, no, it's too late now. And then sadly she did pass away, and the partner had to sell the property because he couldn't afford the mortgage without her. Yeah. And then he would have been mortgage free.
Yeah, it's tough. That's really tough. And I think, obviously, clearly the younger you are at the time, and if you're health free, the price isn't actually that much, really, is it?
It would have been £10, £15, something like that, yeah.
So in terms of like people listening into this podcast, like maybe people just getting started or looking at becoming a mortgage advisor or going self-employed, like what would you tell them to be prepared for?
So that initial year is just learn. I used to sit and read the PMS spreadsheets like a geek. The grids of criteria. That was like my bedtime reading. I loved it. And when you see a client, you don't need to know the answers. So fact find. You just take as much information as possible. You can't ever have too much information about a client.
Yes.
And then you find the answers later. And I think that's probably one of my strong points, is that I've never been thrown off by not necessarily knowing in front of a client. You don't have to tell them you don't know. Just have to look into it more, or I just don't want to give you the wrong answer, so let me check. I think it's the best job in the world. There's not many jobs that you get to do where it's just a really positive outcome for a client. So getting people houses is just so nice. It's such a nice thing to do. And yes, lenders can be difficult and it can be a bit time consuming sometimes, but every time I ring a client and say, I've got your mortgage offer, you hear that scream. It's just a brilliant job. What can be better? It's such an amazing thing to do for someone. And there's a lot of jobs out there that are really negative. So I just think, just embrace what we do and love it. And I love this industry so much. And there's so many people that are pretty bad. So if you're good and you're passionate and got some ethics.
It's easy to stand out, isn't it?
Yeah, so easy.
Yeah, even if you're new.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say is the best way of getting clients? I mean, obviously you're getting a lot of word of
getting clients hard. It sounds really horrible, but for me, that's the easiest part.
That's good for you then. That's great.
Just if you're yourself and genuine. I'm not the most corporate polished, professional person. I'm professional in terms of my standards, but I don't come across in a really corporate way. And there's loads of people out there that actually prefer that. They don't want to feel really stuffy and suited and booted. There's other clients that would hate that. They'll look at me and think, she must not know what she's talking about. She's too casual. But I find my people. My people find me. I think if you have that self-belief and you do things in your way, that is my USP, is that I'm me. And I don't mind if your toddler's going to smear porridge on me if I turn up at your house. Or I might have my toddler with me too, because my childcare might have let me down. That's how I'm real and raw and honest, and they appreciate that, and that's why they trust me. So I think if you're yourself, you find clients. I get loads of social media. Again, I'm just most of my social media posts are about my kids.
Yeah.
They're not about business.
People get to know you and they feel they know you before they speak to you, don't they?
100%.
Yeah.
And then just being good at what you do. So the foundation of it is, if you give me a mortgage case, I'm going to find you a solution if there's one out there. And I'd say I'm, a pretty good broker. I'm pretty confident in my ability that if there's an answer, I'm going to find it.
So like leaning on your network, using, getting to know the tools, using, people like within New Leaf or whatever, people who can help you on cases. Mortgage Club like PMS you mentioned have got lots of resources, but also as being yourself, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, very good. The tagline of this podcast, Sarah, is turning over a new leaf in financial advice, right? So we're asking everybody, what's the one new leaf you're turning over right now?
So many. So I've just had my second